Joining me now is Representative Joy Goeben. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Sarah.
You have authored 5 of these child care bills. What was your motivation behind developing them?
Uh, I am a former childcare worker. I provided childcare in my home. I ran a home childcare center. So we keep hearing about the childcare crisis, and it was really important to me that we find lasting long-term solutions. So I began working with current childcare providers, people who work at our childcare resource and referral centers, and people who run 4K programming, because all of this plays in to the issues with childcare. And so I'm trying to help parents be able to find childcare. So there are so many people who are saying childcare just isn't available. I can't work without childcare. So the goal is to provide quality childcare spots as broadly as we can.
And at an assembly hearing this past week, Representative, there was mixed support for certain bills, but some advocates just opposed the proposals altogether. Based on that feedback, will you be making any changes to some of these bills?
There are a couple through the normal hearing process is that you have a hearing, you listen to the people, you offer changes if necessary. So all of my bills, I believe, are going to go forward, but through the hearing process, there seems to be the intent is different than the wording. So there will be some slight modifications to like the family child care bill. It's worded weird that you can have more kids than you really should have. So that will be adjusted.
And many advocates are pushing to extend funding for child care counts. That definitely came up in the hearing, but Republicans have largely opposed this. Besides the bills that you proposed, is there anything else that can be done to appease some of these concerns?
Okay. We have already put more than 90 million new dollars into childcare. So it's not that the Republican side are doing nothing. We are. We put money in. We're working to find other solutions. I hear other people are trying to reach out to childcare centers to find out other options, things that we can do to help childcare. Um, the sad part of the hearing was that these bills were not given merit on their own for giving consideration for their merit. It was simply no. We want childcare counts. We do not want to do anything to improve childcare now. And we need to work on improving childcare now, making slots available for our families who need care.
And Republicans and Democrats do seem to share this common goal, as you have alluded to, of addressing this child care crisis. But still, at that hearing, there was concern that the bills might loosen regulations too much, reduce quality of care, or increase burnout. And so, how much of that do you think can be addressed as the process goes forward with your bills?
Well, I think something to remember is that these are childcare professionals. They're called professionals because they are professional. There are people who own centers, who run centers, and these bills are meant to add flexibility for them. One of the people who spoke talked about a center that she knows where a teacher was going to be absent, and because of what was going on, there would be 20 families. I believe it was 20 families. It could be a little less. I can't remember the number, who would then the next day not have care. If these bills were in place, she said, they could have the flexibility for that day to take those children to possibly spread them out throughout the rest of the center, that they would then be able to give care to those children. So it's to add flexibility, but the final responsibility is on the centers. Can the staff adequately care for the children? Is there health issues or things? Those are things that they're going to need to address, but trying to add some flexibility in these really hard and challenging times.
Will lawmakers consider Governor Evers' child care and workforce proposals in the special session later this month?
I'm not sure. I have been so focused on working on actually finding solutions. It's a little sad that the other side will not also work on finding solutions. All they say is the money, just the money. But that's already proven that it isn't working because we're still having childcare centers close. So we need to find other solutions.
And the solution would be, some of the proposals here. And do you think that
And hope let's look for more. I would love to sit down and try to find more solutions. But when they come out and say, we're not even going to look at your ideas, we're not going to consider your ideas, that is not helpful. And that's not working to bipartisan solutions in any way.
I want to move on to some other big headlines regarding the impeachment proceedings against Justice Protasewicz and those conversations surrounding the potential. Do you support impeachment against the justice?
I think impeachment is a word that's getting thrown around really easily. And I believe that's happening very much because of what's happening at a national level. And honestly, I think the media is fanning that flame. So for me, I have had very little conversation with my colleagues about impeachment. So I don't know everybody else's plan or their focus, but less my focus has been working on childcare. And I'm not, so if I have to say something, I'll say I think that Justice Prosejewicz and all judges need to be held to the standards of their office, and that needs to happen. And I sincerely hope that good decisions will be made.
And last here, Representative, the governor has now come out and said he would veto the revised GOP tax plan after calling it, some of it, a fair compromise just a few weeks ago. How are lawmakers responding to his new comments?
I think Governor Evers claims to be for the people of Wisconsin, but vetoing this bill speaks to the fact that that is not true. That's not where he is. People in our state are struggling. Uh, Expenses are high. They're trying to afford gas. They're trying to afford food. These are real issues, and the middle class needs some help. And Governor Evers, he just wants to do this tax cut that's really a slap in the face to the people of Wisconsin.
Representative Goeben, thank you so much for taking the time with us
Thank
this
you,
morning.
Sarah.